Good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. This is the only show about economic development, growth in our fair city, everything to do with commercial real estate. My name is Trenton Magid. My tenacious co-host, Jeff Beals, has the weekend off, and I pretty much think that he's just starting to celebrate early, not just for New Year's, but 20 years ago, he and I started out on this adventure, and 1,000 and something shows later, our anniversary, 20 years, will be January 10th. Jeff will be here next week, and I am pleased to welcome our good friend and regular contributor, Brad Williams, as my co-host. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning, Trenton. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, and you all know Brad as the owner and proprietor of Brad Williams Photography. Check it out online, bradwilliamsphotography.com. He is a development planner at E&A Consulting Group, a company that I've used for 30 years on developments, my clients' developments, and they do amazing stuff. And then Brad also does a construction update for Grow Omaha, brought to you by Leader Construction, and we look forward to his next installment. You can see all that on the Grow Omaha page on YouTube. And we'll welcome back, and we've got a lot to talk about today. I didn't realize that tomorrow, New Year's Eve, is 1-2-3, 1-2-3.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those fun years that everyone's kind of making a big deal out of.
A lot of marriages happening tomorrow, and I hope that they stick.
Does that make him any luckier to pick a special number?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, it's easy to remember, I think, for the husbands.
I think you're on to something.
Well, we're going to talk about what's happening in 2023. We're going to talk about what's happening and what 24 has to bring. And before we do that, we're going to talk about development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage. You hear us talking about Eagle Mortgage, Holly Schneiderwin and her team, right at 114th and Davenport, just south of Dodge. You really need your pre-approval letter. I had two friends call me and wanted to buy residential houses, and I referred them to a friend of mine because I don't do residential, but what it shows me is that people see the rates coming down, and I really think that you're going to see a lot of homes transacting. Are you seeing more signs in your neighborhood?
I'm not. It's probably the lowest amount of signs in the neighborhood I've ever seen. It's kind of surprising.
Well, you live in a really ritzy neighborhood, and people have those 3.5% mortgages. But I met with Holly Schneiderwin the other night, and she says they're busy, and you want that pre-approval letter. They do conventional VA and FHA loans. Just go to eaglemortgagecompany.com and they will set you up. Well, when it comes to development news, Mayor Stothert and Wicklow Development, which is Patrick Mulhall and his family, we're talking about 120th and Maple and 120th and Fort. And Mulhalls have been very prolific, and they have a great core business in the nursery, but they've built apartments, shopping centers. They've sold land over there. And now, a few months ago, Mayor Stothert announced that the city's putting in $54 million, and they're going to have several, I think it's like 13 or something new soccer fields, turf fields. They're going to do baseball and softball. And that is going to come on, I think, it'll be totally done with baseball and softball like around 27. But before that, the city is expected to have, the soccer fields, I think, are coming within the next year. So you have that. And then the big announcement, both for Wicklow, they have 55 acres mixed-use development next to the expanding Tranquility Park. And what do you think about Chicken and Pickle announcing?
Yeah, it's going to be a real addition to that area. That area's kind of been a little bit slow to grow over the years, but they have some new apartments that are just coming online now. The Chicken and Pickle is going to be a big draw for people from all over the city, and it should really start to take off up there.
So we're talking, I think it's about 6, some indoors, some outdoors, pickleball courts, which is the rage. I think if you have any business, you need a pickleball court now.
Yeah, it
seems like it, right? But what's going to happen to this area with hotels, apartments, retail? The Mulhalls have they're well underway. It used to be the Roanoke Apartments. Now it's the IVI Apartments. They're half done, and the rest of them will be completed by July 2024. And I looked online, and the IVI Apartments, they look really nice, and they got a little lake there, and they've got
A pool and a clubhouse.
yeah, and so with the expanded Tranquility Park and everything else going on, it'll be another note. It just seems like, Brad, that we have all these districts.
Yeah.
And you got to have a district, and you have to name it and things like that. And I think it's good because I think of when I talk to people about the Blackstone district and City Center and La Vista or whatever, and I remember meeting over in Council Bluffs where the MAC Center is, the Mid-America Center. They never really named that area. And it drives me nuts because you got some good businesses over there. Tesla's building a new repair shop, a huge state-of-the-art repair shop. And it never really, they didn't master plan at the beginning. And I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying that it's hard to think about that unless there's a show or you go in the casino or whatever. But it's got a lot of elements. But I challenge the City of Council Bluffs and Iowa West Foundation to take the sports complexes, everything over there, and call it something.
Yeah, it's interesting when you tell someone like, "Hey, I'm going to go over to Full Fledged Brewing." They're like, "Oh, where's that?" And you either say it's by Bass Pro or it's by the Mid America Center, but you don't call it by a name like the Blackstone.
And it's a big area, so we like what they're doing over there. Love the improvements to Broadway, and they certainly have the funding and the manpower and women power, but it should be more complete.
Maybe the chicken and pickle development could have a nod to the past and call it the Boondockers District.
I like it.
That's what everyone refers to that area as. Oh, is that where Boondockers used to be?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, let's talk demolition. It's always exciting to see a building come down, especially if it's something good is going to come in its place.
Three of them this week.
Yeah. First up, Nebraska Medicine is demolishing the former Mid-City Bank building at 42nd and Farnham. The long vacant building sits on a small island of property surrounded by 42nd Street, Farnham, Harney Street. Nebraska Medicine is keeping the land for future expansion. So they got so many projects down there that they can just hold it, and I'm sure it's not depreciating.
I would say I see this being some kind of nice green space for the immediate future because it's a pretty small parcel. It's, like you said, landlocked by streets on pretty busy streets on every side, and it's just going to be a nice visual cleanup to have that building gone along there.
Maybe we need another bright and colorful lit up obelisk or some piece of artwork as a holding.
I like what they've done on 42nd and Leavenworth with on that corner.
Yeah, no, it's Nebraska Medicine is creative. It's just such a technology and medical hub. It's exciting to see what's happening there. And then let's go down near Creighton, where they are tearing down the former Mystery Manor. It was a haunted house at 18th and Bird, everybody's favorite, it seemed like, north downtown. They're going to hold the ground for future use as well. So
that one was always interesting because it had the appeal of a haunted house inside and out. When you were walking down the street, it was this really gnarly old house with overgrown trees. And it was funny because it was right in the middle of all Creighton's new athletic complex. If you were walking to a game at Sokol Arena, you walked right by the Mystery Manor.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be missed. The third and final demolition of the week is the property just north of the Think building, that medical facility right on Center Street. The 4 or 5 story office building. I believe that one was, along with a couple other, was built by a guy by the name of John Madden, not the guy on the football announcing and the player, but a guy that moved to Denver, but he was a prolific developer from Omaha, and they're going to make way for 200 apartments. Is that what you heard?
Yeah, a while back, earlier this summer, probably in the planning board documents, there was a 200 unit apartment building proposed there. And so that's pretty much transformed most of that. The Think, they removed an old 70s building for the Think building. They removed an old 70s building for these apartments. And then not as old, but that old West building was torn down, and for the not the Child Saving Institute, but the Community Alliance.
Yeah,
built that new building on the corner.
And these I remember when these are owned by travelers, and my mentor, Jim Moore, over at what was called the Mega Corporation, was involved in that transaction with Walter Scott. So that goes way back, probably 25 years. No, probably 28 years. Early site preparation has started on a large mixed-use development northwest of Interstate 80 and Highway 31 in Gretna. The site is immediately west of Nebraska Crossing. Available lots range from 1 to 90 acres. No businesses or users have been announced. And actually, Mulhall's has a beautiful site just west of Nebraska Crossing as well. So that area is in fuego.
Between that and what's going on south with some of those big industrial buildings.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
A lot of action out there.
New Street Development and Lovely Skin has a big building out there, and they're building like a 400,000 square foot spec building. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive. Brian Diedrichson and his team at New Street are good folks. Finally, Site Selection Magazine, a national trade publication, so not everybody on listening gets Site Selection Magazine. Apparently Jeff does. It's big in the economic development circles. They highlighted Omaha's new downtown riverfront parks in a recent article headlined "The Parks That Herald Omaha's Return to the River." The article describes how former Kiewit chairman Ken Stinson and former Valmont Industries CEO Moens Bai led a fundraising campaign. The private sector would pony up $400 million towards the realization of the riverfront parks. The city chipped in about $60 million. This is unique, and Omaha is unlike any other city where we don't wait until our stakeholders and the people that made the money pass away and put their name on a project or whatever. These guys and gals get in there, get their hands dirty. They want to be good stewards. They want to manage it along with the city. If it wasn't for the stakeholders and contributors of all sizes, Omaha wouldn't be as great as it is.
Yeah, and they show up for the groundbreaking ceremonies and they show up for the ribbon cutting. So they're hands-on for the entire part of the project too.
There was 3 or 4 philanthropists that each wrote a $50 million check.
Unbelievable.
And
awesome.
you know some of them, and you probably don't know some of them because that's how, they don't put their name at front. It's called the Riverfront Park. The end of the article discusses how the 3 riverfront parks are already generating spin-off development in the downtown area, including the $600 million 44-story Mutual of Omaha headquarters building, and the $356 million streetcar system. So we're loving that. And then one more before we go to the break is CHI Health Center. You found that they're going to have a courtside lounge for drinks for the guests that are on the floor.
Yeah, that's going to be a neat addition to it. If you were sitting on the floor before, you had to hike up, 22 rows of seats to get up to the regular club lounge. So I didn't know exactly where they were building. I had a guess, and then they came back and said that they were putting it in a former locker room. So,
oh wow!
And like UNO had a locker
get some
room
air
there,
fresheners or something like that.
They've already converted that to something for Creighton. So it'd be interesting to see where this
absolutely. And that is your development news of the week, sponsored by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. Get your pre-approval letters there. You are listening to Trenton Magid and guest host Brad Williams. Jeff Beals has the weekend off, but he'll be here next week. And we'll be with you on the other side. You're listening to Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Welcome back to the Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. I am here with Brad Williams, filling in for Jeffrey Beals. And Dingman's Collision Center is not just a business with 4 locations in Omaha. They're good friends of mine. They do work on too many of my cars, and I don't keep them in business single-handedly, but many of you do as well. They have a mechanic shop. They make sure that they repair cars to factory specifications and use the right parts, and they continuously win the best of Omaha. So check out Dingman's Collision Center and go there for your repairs, go there for consultation, and they will treat you right. Well, it is time for the Real Estate Development Spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. we see Noddle companies all over, not just Omaha, but in Denver and throughout the Midwest. Noddle Companies, founded in 1971 by Harlan Noddle, is a Midwestern headquartered commercial real estate company, and they do development, they manage things, and they've completed over 150 office, retail, and mixed-use commercial developments in 17 states over the past 40 years. Today, the firm's reach extends to more than 20 states and have managed a portfolio of properties totaling in excess of 8 million square feet. The firm is one of the largest developers of community shopping centers and office buildings in the Midwest. In addition, Brad, to their many real estate and civic projects, Jay Noddle happens to be the chairperson of the Streetcar Committee. He was, for many years, the head of the Urban Core, which is in the same area. He takes on these challenges with the mayor's office and a team of great people. There's also a restaurant management division. I didn't know this, but I was talking to Sam Noddle. They welcome the new executive chef of Noddle Hospitality, named Sam Laughlin. Check out the new menus at Pop's Pizza and No Name Cafe at the Inner Rail at Exarban Village. Sam trained at Villa Farina, which is a great restaurant down on 10th Street, Au Courant, and is the former head chef at Lost Rail Country Club. Do you frequent the Inner Rail?
I've been there a few times, yeah.
I think they did a really nice job down at Exarban Village. They covered the outside area with heaters and things like that, and that'll be good for a lot of the year. So, but you also have the good inside.
I say the inside's quite large.
Yeah, and you got a selection of stuff. There's a lot of other restaurants down there. Check out Rub, which the guy from Au Courant made, and it's delicious. Noddle Companies is an Omaha-based full-service real estate development company and can be reached at noddlecompanies.com. Well, there's a lot going on. Let's stick back to downtown. We talked about new improvements at CHI Health Center Arena. Tell us about 11th and Nicholas.
Yeah, right north of the CHI and kind of right north of one of Noddle's projects, there is a new development proposed for the Nicholas Apartments at 11th and Nicholas. This came out yesterday in the planning board documents, so it'll be up for planning board next week. It is a 5-floor, 78-unit market rate apartment building, and this is just to the west of just to the east of the Dizzy Mule, which is topped out. Windows are going in now, like I said, on 11th Street on the east side. The apartment rates will range from $800 to $1,800, and the cool thing, instead of dividing off a whole block, that area is very connected and walkable. It's going to have a mid-block pass-through, so people can walk through a pedestrian easement through the building to get to the other side.
And are you going to post some of those renderings?
Yeah, I'll do that
on our Facebook page
after the show today. I got some renderings to post and also a site plan.
So that's White Lotus. Arun Agarwal and his team, they have been prolific. The I-80 Logistics Park, 132nd, and Cornhusker Road, Maple 180. They're all over the place too, and it is very expensive. This is about a $19 million project. It is very expensive, especially to go ground up downtown. You might have some subsurface issues with utilities and things like that. And so to put these together, and because they're in TIF eligible area, technically they call it blighted. That's just the official name for it. And some areas are blighted, and they were blighted, but they've really improved on those areas. And so this is just north of the baseball park. But when you do these, they have a TIF application, tax increment financing, and just another project that's going around down there. The Dizzy Mule is done by Paul Smith and Black Dog Development. That's coming along nicely. That's in addition to their Hello Apartments. And then you've got the Millwork Commons campus where we'll actually drive all the way down there for 168th and Center to go to Coneflower. And they've got a neat, a beautiful building. And originally it was whatever Flywheel became and some other things. But I'm told, I can't announce who it is, but I'm told that they've got the third floor at least out with an international company. And so that'll be more employees down there. What else do you see going on downtown?
There's just a lot of activity going on that north end along Cumming Street. I noticed another lot, and I probably know what it's what it is, and I forgot. But just to the west of the Kiewit parking garage, the ground is clear. There's a construction fence up. Something's going on there. Like we talked about, the Creighton is always adding on. They have their new medical building that's open, that new freshman dorm that's open. There's the new Jesuit residence hall that is getting near completion. So along that Cumming Street corridor is just a lot of activity.
You know what we still don't have, and it's been talked about since we started the show. We said we know it'll be a milestone on Grow Omaha and the city of Omaha when we get a full-service grocery store, not a Cubby's, not a Patrick's Market, which is no longer there, but something that people downtown can get their fresh produce and everything, and at reasonable prices. And it's been rumored that Hy-Vee has looked at different things. You've also got White Lotus is also doing the Civic project, the Civic Auditorium property, Civic District.
There's been a lot of rumors lately going around that Trader Joe's is actively looking at North Downtown. So that would be it's just a rumor, speculation, stuff you read on the internet. No, nothing firm to confirm on that, but that's the rumor right now.
Yeah, they have great flowers. I just went to Trader Joe's last night, and they have inexpensive flowers. I think that'd be a great addition. Yeah. Any project down there, and I want to see that White Lotus project get off the ground. It's very visible to the 480 bridge. Yeah. I'm excited. I think I announced it a couple weeks ago that Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Midlands, Maddie Grave in my office and I represented the landlord. It's about 8,000 square feet at 1416 Howard Street, the former Patrick's Market and Flywheel. And they're going to move from not too far away, but in about 8 months probably, Big Brothers, Big Sisters will have a beautiful storefront. They'll have a dock on the back when they do their diaper drives and things like that. So I love it when you see these different types of businesses and getting employees back. People don't realize how important it is to have full office buildings. And it seems like with flex time and all this kind of stuff, but think about the restaurants downtown, the other services, that if people are working from home, it just changes the dynamic of the day parts.
You know, and you see every week there's another business that's bringing people back full-time or nearly full-time. I heard Schwab is bringing their big old mill tower has been empty for 3 years now, almost 4 years. And I heard that after the first year, they're bringing a lot of their employees back. So a lot of these restaurants that have been kind of coasting over the last few years trying to get by are really enjoying things like that.
You know, we talk about the damage that was done with younger kids, through high school, all this remote learning, even college with all this remote learning and the socialization process and the masks. And it's really hard to get a culture at companies. It's really hard to train new employees, and there's probably more turnover when that happens. And I see I think it's analogous where younger people in school, the way they're developing socially and culturally, and the same thing with office.
Yeah.
Because you don't see these people building teams. Yeah, you can do it on Zoom, you can do it on Microsoft Teams or whatever, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I know. Like at ENA, our Jason, our CEO, has been preaching culture for years and years now, and having people together, working together is huge on his list. And one of his philosophies is that don't send an email. Get up from your desk, walk down the hall, and talk to that person in face. The email should be a backup, or the email should be a reminder, but the initial conversation should be face to face.
Well, Jason Thielen he's a cultural icon, and hopefully he's listening. But think about how weird it would be if you get a handwritten thank you note. My mom always did that, and I talk about doing it. I've got the stationery, but imagine if you're trying to do sales, you're trying to do something, how unique and how much you'd stand out. Not a text, not a voicemail, but handwritten. And I think
there's people that do that. Who's great at that is Marty Cordero from the Omaha Storm Chasers.
Yeah, nice guy.
Every once in a while, just get a card in the mail and it's from Marty saying thank you, or
Dave Palladino used to send me handwritten notes from Dino's, and I just cherished that because I thought it was a class move, and it's funny that sticks out.
Yeah, it just shows you put a little more effort than just typing something. So
Yeah, it was interesting. So we're at 132nd and West Maple Road, northwest corner. Next to us is a 4 or 5 story building, the world headquarters of Home Instead Senior Care.
Oh, Dodge. You're on Dodge, not Maple.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Dodge. Yeah, we didn't move, Deb. Right next to us to the north, there was one car at Home Instead Senior Care, and I realize that they're on location. I'm sure they're remote and everything else. And I'm not just picking on you guys, but I just find it fascinating that you have this very expensive building,
Nice building.
and it's not it's not that full. What are your predictions for 2023 when it comes to, or excuse me, 24 when it comes to progress and some of the developments going on? And you're always out and about, and I know ENA is looking at projects without divulging confidential information. What do you look forward to in 24?
It seems like there's still a lot going on. It's interesting. After 3 gangbuster years, things are a little bit slower, but they're actually normal now instead of, there was a couple years in there where we were going 100 miles an hour every day. And so actually having more of a normal workflow has been interesting. It almost feels like you're slow, but you're not. But there's still a lot going on, a lot of people kicking the tires on different projects. And then, from doing the construction updates and getting around town, there's still a ton of construction going on right now. It hasn't stopped, the construction.
I kind of see 24 as a year of working on projects and finishing projects. You've got Applied Underwriters that's been going on for years. They put a slight hold on it during COVID, and it looks like it's going full bore. I don't know when that's coming online, but hopefully in the next year or two, because it's been a long time. Yeah. You got that whole Heartwood Preserve district.
You should have a lot opening in there this spring with the restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely. Lockwood Development is busy with those restaurants and that land around there. Lanahaw has a project that's planned over there. There's others. And Lockwood also has Crossroads, Lockwood and Century Development. My understanding is that pretty much all of the horizontal construction, you're talking about the utilities, all the streets and entryways and all that kind of stuff is pretty much done. And so it'll be ready for vertical development. And it's exciting to see what'll happen there.
So between the Lockwood or the Heartwood Preserve, Crossroads, and then a lot of developments on 204th Street, the infrastructure on all these projects are in. In the planning board stuff, there was something for Kensington, the phase 2. So there's a lot of lots along 204th Street between Kensington, North Stream, South Streams. There's a lot of land ready to build on, and there's a lot of companies that are looking to expand, just waiting for the right moment to go.
Also 204th and F. That whole Highway 6, Highway 31 is definitely going to go crazy. Yeah. Let's not forget about the Mutual of Omaha Towers going up. Yeah. So I think there's going to be, not that, but there's going to be some completions of sizable projects. We saw a lot of orange cones in 23, and I live near 168th and call it L Street, and that bridge is getting done from Q to Center Street, and that's been a little bit trying, but they've kept it open.
Yeah, I was surprised. I would have thought that they were going to close that and completely tear out the old bridge and start over.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I got a chance to meet a gentleman, Chris Kaburek, who is the interim president starting January 1 for the University of Nebraska system. And he's interim. I hope he becomes permanent. Really nice guy. He was the CFO and a lot of things. And so we're going to try to get him on the show.
Great.
And he'll be great for the university system, and we're excited about that. So we are going to take our final break, and when we come back, we're going to have the Turner lightning round, and we got plenty of tidbits to share with you. You're listening to Trenton Magid and Brad Williams. Jeff Beals will be back next week, right here on 1110 KFIB, The Grow Omaha Show. And welcome back to The Grow Omaha Show, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. I'm Trenton Magid. I'm here with Brad Williams, who's helping me finish out the year of 2023. And we look forward with Jeff coming back on 2024. and there's still plenty to talk about. And it's time for your Turner lightning round. Turner Construction is building for the future. You know Turner Construction because you see their blue and white signs all over. They originally came to Omaha for the Sarpy County Data Center, which is probably about a square mile, I would say by now. They've got what,
Square
8 buildings or 6 buildings or something like that.
Say like 4 square miles.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a lot bigger.
It's huge, and they do a great job. But they do, even though they're an international company, one of the largest construction companies in the world. When they came to Omaha, they made concerted effort and they hired a lot of local people, and they act like the hometown favorite. They're doing a lot of bank buildings for what bank is it? Chase.
Chase, yeah.
Sorry. They're doing Chase, and then also they're doing a huge multi-million-dollar project on Offutt Air Force Base. And so they're pretty well-rounded, and they do good, great educational programs for schools as well as their employees. So let's get to the lightning round, and we've got some new restaurant news. The Tenant, just like a building tenant, a new fine dining restaurant plans to open late winter at 6201 Maple Street in the heart of Benson. The future restaurant will have fine food, strong drinks, and a rooftop rosé garden.
That was where 1912 used to be on the corner there.
Oh, was it?
Yep. Great rooftop.
Why? I wish there's a parking garage.
In Benson?
Yeah, I mean, even if they have to tear down some stuff, it would really, I mean, you look at Exarban Village, you look at some of these other places that it's just easy to park. And I think twice, I love those restaurants down there, but I would just love.
A lot of the times when I go to Benson, I go to an off hours time, and it's a lot, there's a lot more open space.
In addition to Au Courant, and there's another very famous, world famous restaurant, Ota. The Benson sushi restaurant owned by David Utterback was proclaimed the best sushi in America in a December 20th Washington Post article headline, "One of America's best sushi restaurants is in Omaha. Yes, Omaha." Ota only seats 8 guests at a time. I think it's like a 10 or 12 course meal, and is located right next to Yoshitomo at 6011 Maple Street. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, it's funny. I got
that much sushi comes out of the Missouri River. Just kidding.
I got a family from Washington, D.C. in town, and they read that article in the Washington Post, and they tried to get a reservation there, but weren't able to, so they went to Koji instead.
Yeah, he has Koji over at Countryside Village, and Countryside's really been picking up. A restaurant or a confectionery business near me, the Cordial Cherry, another national news article, last week was featured in Made in America Christmas, a feature by ABC World News Tonight anchor David Muir. According to the Omaha World Herald earlier, NBC's Today Show included a expert curated list of 6 best mail-order food items, and they included the Cordial Cherry. This is over at Legacy, right at 168th and Center Street, and I go by there all the time, but it seems like it must be like by appointment or something like that. But they have really cool artisan candy shop, and we look forward to them.
It's amazing how many things like that we have here that people don't. I don't know if people in Omaha realize that they're national reach. You think of Omaha Steaks, the Baker's Candy, the See's Candy. Now you got the Cordial Cherry. Just a lot of neat things that come out of Omaha.
Yep. The latest location for Wingstop is opened at 15825 West Maple Road in American Interstate Plaza between Square Donut and Dickey's Barbecue. You still see restaurants opening up, and my favorite of the year is Untamed Kitchen, which is at 15th and Farnham, brought to you by Alex Harrington, the gentleman that has 8 Picklemans in town, and it's a really healthy but flavorful restaurant. And check out Untamed Kitchen, 15th and Farnham, and he's going to do a coffee shop next to that. It's the same building that has 18 apartments above it called the Trio Building. I want to get into, before we close out, in 2023, Gretna has just been on fire. the Mayor Mike Evans has been a great leader there. Rod Yates with the NEX crossing. They're talking about doing this Good Life District, which could expand it up to 2,000 acres of different owners, different developers and stuff. But they're talking about sports complex. They're talking about wellness center, all kinds of golf and things like that. So what do you make of that area?
Well, we talked a lot about the south side of Gretna earlier in the show, but all the stuff going on the 370 corridor is pretty incredible too. The world's largest Hy-Vee opened up earlier this year, but then across the street to the west, you have what should be probably the first fleet farm in Nebraska that they have the land purchased, and I don't remember if they're going to start in 2024, but that whole corner in front of Fleet Farm.
There's also a medical campus right next to it, a national medical campus. Access Commercial is developing that area.
Yeah, and then Access had a graphic of that area, and then across from there's going to be another mixed-use development to the side. So,
and that is your lightning round, your Turner lightning round, and we appreciate their sponsorship. And before we end the show, I want to wish everybody a very happy New Year. We appreciate your 20 years of listenership.
Yeah,
Brad, you've been a lifesaver for us. Not only do you help us take care of the website and the Facebook page, along with the Coreys, Jennifer and
Chris does the website.
Chris, the guy behind the camera today, and they do an amazing job. Jeff and I have been very busy, and I'm excited for the next 20 years on the radio, and with Jeff's leadership on this program and things that we're doing at NAI, NP Dodge, we're just very happy with the way things are going on. We love Omaha. Omaha is always a bright spot when it comes to not only economic development, but the culture and the kindness. And we need to keep that. There's many places in the world where they seem to be missing it, but keep Omaha going. Thank you to everybody who contributes to the amazing projects in Omaha. And we will see you next year right here on 1110 KFAB, the Grow Omaha Show.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.